for round 4 of our grand Pokemon tournament," Ni shouted. "Our first team is a pair of hot-headed powerhouses, Ken and Netsu." Netsu and Ken strutted out confidently, cockily waving to the audience as they took the stage. And their opponent, a team-up of East and West, Nara and Alice, Kiba added. Nara and Alice walked onto the stage much more humbly, but there was a particularly loud voice cheering for them. "You can do it, sweetheart." Chol cheered, earning a bright smile from her daughter as they got to the table. "You ready for a beat down, dweeb?" Ken snidely taunted his sister with a shit-eating grin. "Get real, when was the last time you beat me in a video game?" Nara scoffed. "That doesn't matter, now I have Netsu with me. There's no way we can lose," Ken proclaimed. "Yeah, get ready to get burned," Netsu said. "Enough talk. Let's battle." Alice cheered, eager to get started. "Let's burn him up. Armarouge," Netsu cheered as he sent out his Pokemon. "Beat him to a pulp, Machamp," Ken shouted as he did the same. Champ/Rouge. Both Pokemon roared as they took to the battlefield. Machamp cracked his knuckles and Armarouge's head flame exploded with passion. "Let's teach them a lesson, Delphox," Nara said as she threw out her own Pokemon. Delaware. By comparison, Delphox was far calmer when released, but just as battle-ready, raising their wand up to their opponents. "Let's have fun, Dinah," Alice cheered as she released her Pokemon, Dinah the Alolan Persian. "Pair." Persian gave their opponents a smug look, instantly stating their superiority with just a glance. "Let's go. Dynamic punch that stupid fox in the face," Ken ordered. "Nua. Dinah make him wait his turn," Alice ordered. Machamp went to run toward Delphox, only for it to suddenly be frozen by a dark aura that held it in place. What the heck is that?" Ken cried in out confusion. "You've been quashed. That means you can't move until everyone else has," Alice explained. "Well, that sucks," Ken pouted. "Armarouge use Aura Sphere on Dinah," Netsu ordered. "Just what I was waiting for. Use Mystical Fire on Machamp," Nara commanded. Rouge. Armarouge brought its arms in front of it, and its pauldrons crawled up its arms and turned into a cannon, before quickly charging and firing a sphere made of aura right at Persian. At the same time, Delphox spun their wand around, creating a circle of flames before firing a huge beam of fire at Machamp. The flames hit the four-armed Pokemon, not only doing damage but lowering its attacking stats. Meanwhile, the sphere slammed into Persian, doing super effective damage. "Saya Yan!" Dinah cried as it fell onto her side and skidded back toward Alice. With everyone having moved, Machamp was free of quash. They cocked back their fist, charging it with tremendous energy, and rushed into Delphox, slamming their fist into their face. "Fox!" Delphox cried as they went skidding back. Type resistance and Machamp's lowered attack reduced the damage of what was normally a powerful attack quite significantly. However, Delphox was left dazed and confused nonetheless. "Fox. Dinah uses Quash on Armarouge, then Hypnosis on Machamp," Alice ordered. "Pair." Dinah's eyes glowed, and Armarouge was shrouded with a dark aura, keeping it from moving, then looked over at Machamp, and their eyes glowed a different color. Thanks to Machamp's ability No Guard, Machamp was forced to turn and look at them. Mayacamp. Machamp's eyelids became heavy, and it quickly fell into a deep, deep sleep. "Darn it! Let me move," Ken whined. "Alright, Delphox light scream. Don't let me down," Nara urged. Unfortunately, Delphox fell victim to its confusion and whacked itself in the head with its own wand. "Darn it!" Nara hissed. Now that everyone had moved, Machamp was asleep and therefore didn't count. Armarouge was free once again. "Aura Sphere on Dinah again," Netsu commanded. "You turn on Machamp," Alice countered. "Rouge." Armarouge quickly charged and fired another Aura Sphere toward Dinah, but Dinah dashed at Machamp, their body covered in a green glow. Just before the aura sphere hit, Dinah slammed into the Mochamp, and then immediately returned to their Pokeball, causing the aura sphere to fly past and slam into the wall instead. Immediately after, Alice's second Pokemon Lopunny came out. Honey! The bunny Pokemon cheered as she took to the field. Okay Bit, use Dig on Armarouge, Alice ordered. Honey! Lopunny immediately started rapidly digging through the ground, creating a tunnel and obscuring them from the battlefield. Come on Mochamp, wake up, Ken urged. But his words fell on deaf ears, as Mochamp simply continued to snooze. Ah, screw this. Mochamp, come back. Ken recalled his sleeping Pokemon and then took out his next Pokemon. Let's crush him, Feraligatr. Feraligatr popped out onto the field with a mighty roar. Terror! Will-O-Wisp the Gator. Nara commanded with a snicker. No, again you won't. Dodge it, Ken ordered. Use Psyshock on Delphox, Netsu added, before Armarouge could even make the attempt to attack. Bit burst out of the ground beneath them, then hit them with a powerful, super effective uppercut. When they dodge, use agility to get in close, Alice added. Despite their confusion, Delphox managed to shakily raise their wand and cast Will-O-Wisp, sending the blue flames rushing toward Feraligatr, but the water type leaped to the side to avoid them, only for Bit, glowing blue signifying their increased speed to start running circles around them. Getting cocky. Come on, Feraligatr hit them with liquidation, Ken ordered. Keep dodging with agility, Alice said. Fair, Gator. Feraligatr cocked back its arm, water swirling around its arm, and it tried to punch Bit, but it easily dodged the punch and kept running around them. TCH, you think you're the one who can get faster? Dragon Dance, Ken hissed. Gator. Feraligatr jumped back and performed a strange dance that boosted its speed and attacking power. Now use Liquidation again, Ken commanded. Feral. Egator. Once again, Feraligatr charged its fist up with powerful water and rushed toward Bit. But Bit still easily leaped over the gator, landing on the opposite side, even striking a pose while doing so. Okay, try this. Aura Sphere that rabbit, Netsu ordered. Stop the attack with Mystical Fire, Nara ordered. Armarouge charged up his cannon, and Delphox snapped out of confusion and raised its wand up. Rouge! Armarouge fired an Aura Sphere, only for Delphox to fire a wave of fire from its wand, destroying the attack before it could ever reach Bit. Can't touch me, Alice taunted. Veins started popping out of Ken's head as he clenched his teeth in frustration. Oh yeah, this earthquake. Netsu's eyes went wide. Wait, Bit grabbed Delphox and bounced. Alice smiled as Ken walked right into her trap. As Feraligatr raised its leg up, Bit rushed toward Delphox, brought them into a bridle carry, and leaped high into the air. Plump. Feraligatr slammed its foot into the ground, shaking the whole battlefield. The ground rose up and slammed into Armarouge, sending it flying up into the air. Rug! Delphox used Will-O-Wisp on Feraligatr, Nara ordered. And Bit hit him with a sweet kiss, Alice added. Fox/Low. While in the air, Lopunny blew a kiss, shooting a heart down at Feraligatr, while Delphox shot down blue flames. Both attacks hit Feraligatr while it was still recovering from using Earthquake, inflicting both confusion and burn on the poor reptile. Terror! Feraligatr groaned as it stumbled around confused. Meanwhile, Armarouge's body finally hit the ground. Rouge! Armarouge groaned as it lay there, barely holding on to consciousness for a second, before fainting. And what a play! Not only have Nara and Alice crippled all of Ken's Pokemon, but they even used him to take out his own teammate. Nish shouted. I cannot imagine how utterly furious Ken is right now, Kiba said, her tone half sympathetic and half laughing at the poor boy. Dude, not cool. Netsu Gentile scolded his teammate as he turned his Pokemon. I didn't even get to use Armor Cannon. Ken was simply too stunned to speak. Either too baffled at how badly he'd been bamboozled, or simply too angry to form words. As Bit-Bit and Delphox landed, Alice and Nara high-fived each other. "Excellent job. You played by brother like a fiddle," Nara praised. "I hope he's not too upset. It'd be a shame if the game stopped being fun," Alice said. "He'll be fine," Nara said dismissively. "Okay, let's turn this around, Charizard," Netsu shouted as sent out his final Pokemon. "Zarer!" Charizard roared as he let out a jet of flame from his mouth. "Screw it. Earthquake again," Ken shouted. "God. TR." Fearligator managed to not succumb to its confusion and raise its leg again. "Take Delphox and bounce again," Alice ordered. "Honey." Bit-Bit once again grabbed Delphox and leaped high into the sky. "Get in the sky and use Drought. Then use Blast Burn," Netsu ordered. Alice and Nara's eyes widened. "Uh-oh." Delphox used Light Screen. Charizard flew up as Fearligator once again shook the battlefield, hitting no one, but Charizard then blasted a bright orb of plasma into the sky, acting like a second sun and bathing the battlefield in harsh beams of hot light, as well as activating Charizard's ability, Solar Power, increasing its special attack. Charizard opened its maw and started charging a powerful attack, the fires in its mouth turning blue. Fox. Sitting ducks while they were in the air. All Delphox could do to aid in their defense was put up a barrier around the two of them. Zaradard. Charizard unleashed a powerful blast of blue flames up at Delphox and Bit-Bit, who could only brace for impact. Kaboom! The blast hit its target and created an absolutely massive explosion that lit up the entire arena, shaking the battlefield as if Earthquake had been used again with twice the power, making everyone cover their eyes. When the blast died down, all that was left was a huge cloud of smoke. Bit-Bit and Delphox started falling toward the ground. Delphox had taken a good bit of damage, but their type resistance in combination with the light screen had provided lots of protection. On the other hand, Bit-Bit was not doing as well. Even with the light screen, their special defense paled in comparison to Delphox's, and they didn't have the benefit of type resistance, meaning a solar-powered, sun-boosted blast burn from a Charizard had them on the verge of fainting, and things only got worse from there. "When they land, use Earthquake," Ken ordered. Fearligator. Fearligator once again, despite the confusion, raised its foot up into the air, and when Delphox and Bit-Bit landed it immediately slammed its foot down, making the battlefield shake again, and the earth rise up and hit both Pokemon, knocking them up into the air again. They hit the ground, and Delphox groaned in pain, but Bit-Bit was knocked clean out. And what a turnaround! In just a few moves, Bit-Bit the Lopunny is down and Delphox is on their last legs. He shouted. All of Nara and Alice's careful plans were blown to bits by pure force. And I must say, I approve. Kiba added. "You did your best, Bit-Bit," Alice reassured her Pokemon as they sent them back to their ball. "Hey, you make sure Charizard can't do that to us again while I'm making Fearligator useless. Then we can take out the Charizard," Nara whispered into her partner's ear. "K." Alice nodded before sending her Persian. "Let's finish this, Dinah." Persian. Dinah purred as they came back onto the battlefield. "Hit them again. Earthquake," Ken commanded, now committed to spamming this move. Fearligator raised its foot up, and then fell flat on its face, hurting itself in confusion. Meanwhile, Charizard was still recovering from using Blast Burn, leaving Nara and Alice the perfect chance to attack. Use Future Sight on Charizard, then use Mystical Fire on Fearligator, Nara ordered. "Don't let her." Liquidation and stop them, Ken ordered. "Stop him with U-turn," Alice ordered. Fox. Delphox summoned a bunch of floating purple spheres of psychic energy. Then portals appeared around them, and the spheres entered them before the portals vanished. Meanwhile, Fearligator snapped out of confusion and rushed toward Delphox, their arm cocked back, covered in water, ready to let loose a super effective blow on the Mage Fox. But then Dinah rushed in front of them, charging at Feraligator, their body covered in a green aura. Boom! Fearligator's liquidation-powered fish met Dinah's U-turn-powered head, but both attacks canceling each other out. Fearlagator was sent skidding back a few feet, while Dinah flew back a couple of feet before she jumped out of the way, as Delpox unleashed a beam of mystical fire that slammed into Fearlagator, not doing much damage, but lowering all its offensive stats. "Help with assurance," Alice ordered. "Sion." Persian rushed in while Fearlagator was still recoiling from that last attack, raised their paw, and slammed it into Fearlagator's stomach, sending them flying back, tumbling across the ground before landing right in front of Ken, belly down on the ground, heavily banged up. They were about to get back up, only to grimace as they took even more damage from their burn. "All right, Charizard's ready to fight again. Air/Delphox," Netsu ordered. "Stop them with Quash," Alice commanded. "Purr." Persian's eyes glowed, and as Charizard cocked back his wings to unleash Air/, he was suddenly frozen by dark energy. "Mystical fire on Fearlagator," Nara ordered once more. "Then finish them with assurance," Alice added. "Earthquake," Ken ordered desperately, as Delphox threw a circle of fire in front of them, and Persian had already started running toward them. Fearlagator once again raised its leg. "Fox/Dura." Delphox fired a beam of fire at Fearlagator. At the same time, Fearlagator slammed its foot into the ground, sending another earthquake through the ground. The ground rose up and hit both Delphox and Dinah at the same time, while Fearlagator got a face full of fire. "Fox!" Delphox was launched up into the air. Was Dinah, however. This didn't stop Dinah from flying toward and slamming their assurance-powered paw down on Fearlagator's head. Meanwhile, Charizard had been freed from Quash and finally unleashed the air slash it had been holding at the now falling and helpless Delphox. Delphox cried as the air slash slammed into their body and sent them crashing into the ground, skidding all the way to Nara's feet before promptly fainting. "Fox!" At the same time, Fearlagator collapsed onto his back with swirls in his eyes. "A double knockout," Ni shouted. Both teams are down to the final 4 Pokemon. This has turned into the closest bout yet. It seems like anything could happen. One wrong move and it could cost either side everything. Kiba added. "Will Alice and Nara think their way through to victory? Or will Netsu and Ken muscle their way through to the finish line? Looks like things aren't going as planned, Dweeb," Ken said to his sister as he recalled his Pokemon. "You're just getting lucky, and that luck's about to run out, Dork," Nara promised, as she also returned her Pokemon. "Let's finish this Macamp/Meowstic," Nara and Ken shouted as they tossed out their last remaining Pokemon. "Meow." Meowstic purred as they entered the field. This one is the female variant as opposed to Yonda's male variant. "Champ." Macamp snored, still asleep. "Crap, I forgot he's still snoozing," Ken groaned. "We're almost there, buy me some time," Nara whispered to her partner before giving her command. "Substitute. Hit him with another air slash," Netsu ordered. "Kosh," Alice said. "Pair." With a glow of their eyes, Charizard was frozen. "Protect," Nara commanded. "Stick." Both the substitute and the real Meowstic threw up a nearly indestructible barrier in front of them, and when Charizard was free and shot its air slash down at them, it simply slammed harmlessly against the barrier before dispersing. "Now, calm mind," Nara continued. Netsu opened his mouth to give an order, but Alice beat him to it. "Quash." Once again, Charizard was rendered immobile, while Meowstic closed her eyes and meditated, increasing her special stats by 1 stage. Once Charizard was free, Nesta gave his next order. "Hit Dinah with Blast Burn." In a desperate ploy to actually do something, Charizard charged up yet another devastating attack, this time on Dinah. "Get behind Meowstic," Alice ordered. "Protect," Nara commanded immediately after. Dinah quickly ducked behind the Meowstic and the substitute, and as Charizard fired a massive blue blast of flames, the two cats put barriers around them. Boom! The blast hit the barrier, creating a massive explosion that completely engulfed the other side of the battlefield. But when the smoke cleared, it revealed that Meowstic and the substitute were fine, but Dinah had been hit a bit, just due to the sheer size of the explosion, but had avoided taking the brunt of the attack. And now Charizard needed to rest for a moment. And to make things worse, the fake sun had fizzled out, and the weather returned to normal. But on the bright side, Macamp had finally awoken from his slumber. Finally! Ken cheered. Hypnosis, Alice said. No! Ken cried out in agony, falling to his knees and punching the ground. Dinah peeked out from behind Meowstic, and their eyes glowed, and once again, thanks to no guard, Macamp was forced to look, and immediately fell back asleep. Kea Amp, now go and hit Charizard with assurance. Alice followed up. Just keep using calm mind, Nora said. As Meowstic continued to meditate and increase their stats, Dinah dashed out and started running toward Charizard, who had recovered and was ready to attack. Don't let them get close. Air slash, Netsu ordered. Charizard got ready to launch their attack when suddenly, purple portals opened up around him. Zard! Boom! Charizard was hit by Future Sight. The attack hitting so hard it created another explosion that obscured Charizard for a moment before the injured lizard started falling out of the sky as a result of taking such a strong attack. I completely forgot about that, Netsu cried. Pair! Persian leaped at the falling fire lizard, raising its paw covered in dark energy, and slammed them into the ground, hard enough to crater it. Zayard! Charizard cried out in pain. Hypnosis, Alice continued. Sion! Dinah looked down at the winded Charizard, and their eyes gave off a hypnotic glow. Charizard tried to resist, but his eyelids became so heavy, and soon he was sleeping. Okay, so now we just can't play the game, Ken complained. That's the idea, Nora smirked. Now then, Alice, I think it's time we put the poor boys out of their misery. Stored power / assurance until they're done. They both shouted in unison. Meow! Meowstic created balls of psychic energy and shot them at the sleeping Macamp, knocking him off his feet and sending him flying into a wall, where he remained with swirls in his eyes. Stick! Then Meowstic launched another set of psychic balls at the sleeping Charizard, which slammed into him and created another explosion. Dinah then rushed into the smoke cloud, which then quickly dispersed, as Dinah slammed Charizard with another assurance, right in the gut. Charizard let out one final roar before passing out. And with that, this explosive battle goes out with kind of a whimper. Both Charizard and Macamp are unable to battle, making Alice and Nara the winners. Mies proclaimed. Well, that was anticlimactic, Kiba added. You both suck, Ken immediately proclaimed, absolutely oozing gamer salt. As Amai would say, skill issue, Nara said smugly. Not gonna lie, not being able to play the game was not great. It's aside. Good game though. Whatever. Ken immediately stormed off to sulk for the rest of the day.